Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. Going back to the 1980s, I'd been a Muslim for about 5 years, and the Muslims of the UK were actively involved in building mosques and opening halal meat shops and establishing madrasas and schools, working in the marketplace of survival, basically. And it wasn't easy, but at the same time, we couldn't ignore the overwhelming events which were happening all over the world, and especially in the Muslim countries. The principle of feeling the pain and responding like one body was natural. So when we saw the catastrophic droughts and disasters which were affecting Africa, we all wanted to do something to help. So it became clear that we needed more of an organized approach to deal with global catastrophes. And Dr. Hani al-Banna was one of the first to sort of start his own personal campaign. He raised funds to send to Africa, and I was one of those he contacted. And around the same time, I was invited to go to Sudan and various areas to see the situation. So I took my wife and my 3 daughters along. I thought it would be good for the children to see how hard it was to survive for some people. Arriving in Khartoum was an eye-opener. It was 1984, hundreds of thousands of starving people had been forced out of their drought-stricken homelands into the overcrowded camps and flooding the streets and the capital, skinny children with hardly any hope of drinking their mother's milk, barely hanging on for life. The government was struggling and, as usual, couldn't cope. When we finally got back home, a British Muslim called Abdul Ghaffar approached me with the proposal to establish an international Muslim aid organization in the UK. I took the idea to Dr. Hani, but he had already initiated his own organization which became known as Islamic Relief, actually something which I provided the name for at that time. Anyway, I was pushing the idea of bringing together as many Muslim organizations as possible from around the country to form a national relief body for the purpose of collecting charity in Zakat and etc. to serve the needs of those suffering around the world. My objective was actually twofold. Number one, it was to serve the objective of Sadaqah and Zakat, to give charity to those who are in dire need, facing life and death situations, as well as the important concept of bringing Muslim organizations together in one body, a body of unity which could help ease the differences between some of these organizations. And so we had the great help actually of a respected imam who was the imam at the central mosque, Dr. Said Mutawalli Darsh, may Allah bless him, to help to bring together some of these most important people and leaders and organizations. And that's how Muslim Aid was born. So it was a powerful storm which then erupted. The mainstream news was full of live footage of natural disasters and increasing outbreaks of war, and it drove us and the agency to quickly expand the work of Muslim Aid. Afghanistan was now the hotspot. 3 million refugees had taken shelter in Pakistan's northwest frontier province, and the resistance to the Soviet invasion was firmly on the ground. Muslim Aid was soon able to deliver blankets, food, medical supplies through some of the fellow trustees' associated connections. Those were the days when, of course, the West was happy in holding hands with ideological Islamic movements with the objective of delivering a fatal blow to its communist arch adversary. Obviously, there was no end of causes anyway after that to turn our attention to. The conflict in Palestine, the lack of global will to end the suffering there, obviously meant that there was never enough that could be done to solve or ease that situation. We just continued to do whatever we could. I left the organization actually in 1999. There was a need for a change, and I left the work in the capable hands of the other trustees so I could continue with my managing of the schools and the education projects I'd begun, including the media organization. And however, I'll always be a Muslim aider, and I will pray it will continue to do the good job of serving humanity and bringing help to the needy. This is a real model of the believer and the true Muslim. I'll end here though with a song which I was going to perform back in 1985 at Live Aid, but fate got in the way. I never sang it there, but here it is. Peace be with you.
You can't bargain with the truth, so whether you're rich or you're poor, you're gonna meet at the same door. You're gonna know the real score in the end. And if you want to help your fellow man, you better start with what's in your hand. You can't bargain with the truth, 'cause whether you're right or you're wrong, we're gonna know what you've done. Gonna see where you belong in the end.